What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm starting the vlog off really late today, but I've been bored. I really don't have anything to do for the rest of the day, and the E46 has a lot of little stuff that I have to do to it, so that is what we're gonna work on. I hate that the compressor's back here and I need it all the way up front. So off camera I've been trying to work on the headlights for the E90, and I bought a block. I bought a 120 grit block, and it didn't really do much. I kind of just went from a 120 grit to like maybe a 240, maybe 320 grit, and it stopped sanding. I'm just gonna go buy more sandpaper and work on it later. I do have things to do. It's not that I don't have anything to do. It's more the fact that it's either expensive for right now or really time consuming, and I'm not gonna get it done in the time that I do have. Like I said, the E46 has some things to work on today. I do want to get that taken care of. I'm gonna pull the hose up front so that I have the air up there that I need, and then we'll get working on the E46. I'll explain a little bit more on what we're doing on it here in a bit. I need to flip the front tires to the rear. The rear tires are really worn out, and then these just have really bad camber wear. I know I have some camber in the rear, but I still don't have as bad wear back here as up front. The front is pretty bad. I don't really want to get camber pleats for the front, so this is going to be what I'm going to do. Since the diff is welded, it does drag the rear tires, so they wear out pretty quickly. I'm sorry for background noise. There honestly has not been a day this week that somebody's not out making some kind of noise. I'm gonna get started. I do want to also lower the rear end. It's not that much higher than the front, but it is about an inch, about half an inch too high. It looks a little odd, and that is why I want to lower it. I want the rear to match the front. The front bumper sits kind of low. Sometimes lowering the rear end helps lift the front bumper just because of the way everything is angled. So I do want to lower the rear just a bit, just to fit a little bit better with the front and give the car a little bit more of an aggressive look. I think I like how low the front is. The front, I don't have any wheel gap. I know I'm on a wood block right now, but I don't have any wheel gap, and everything up front is pretty aligned. All the control arms in the rear are angled a little bit down, so that throws off how the suspension works in the back and how strong everything will work. Again, it's not a lot to drop, maybe an inch, but it is definitely something that I have been wanting to do. I have not had the chance. Like I said, it's not really late, but it's also not like decently early to the point where I could start a project. I think this is something that it should not take very long. I should be able to knock this out in like an hour, maybe two. Another thing that I do want to work on is maybe if we can get to it today, we might work on the handle for the e-brake, because that is a little too short. I cannot rip it. Sometimes when it's hot, it does have the movement that I need for it to lock the rear tires, but for the most part it is a little too short for dragging the rear tires. So if we have time, we'll work on that, but honestly I really just wanted to lower the rear end and swap the tires over so I can use this car. So yeah, let's get started.
Tear their ass up, simple as that.
So one thing I like to do with these adjusters is clean them off before I actually start adjusting. Sometimes they catch rocks, then they get stuck. I remember when we took the Godspeeds off of the E90, Tristan tried to adjust them and they got stuck. So I tried to clean mine so the rocks don't get stuck. Also, these BC Racings do have a lot thinner of a thread pitch, so nothing gets caught in these. This car actually, I used to take it to work in a feedlot for cattle. So there was a lot of mud, there was a lot of dirt, and surprisingly this did not have that much dirt built up. I do see that the strut on the other hand has a lot of mud, as you guys can see, and the whole rest of the fender well. But like I said, the actual perch for the spring is not that dirty, and like I said, I think it has to do with the fact that these have a lot smaller thread. The thread pitch is a lot smaller. I can tell that there's a lot more threads, and that probably does really help with how much dirt this actually holds. Like I said, the Godspeeds will hold rocks. Nothing against the Godspeeds. I really love those coils. Those were really good coils, I'm not gonna lie, really comfortable. But yeah, these definitely don't hold the dirt that the Godspeeds did. I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to lower the car. I more or less want to go, like I said, about 1.5 inches. So I'm gonna measure this before I loosen it. We are about 1.25 inches from the top. So I'm going to move it up to 1 inch, which should be enough. That should lower the rear about that inch. If we go too low, I can always lift it again, but I really think that 1/8 of an inch will probably go down about 1/4 of an inch once we actually get to the fender counting. All right, so now we're about 1 inch. I'm going to throw this back on. So this side is already looking a lot better. This is the side that I lowered. So this is the side that I haven't touched. The front, it does not match the rear. The rear is a little bit higher, nothing crazy. I know that the other side is still going to settle once we start driving, but we are down roughly that 1/2 inch that I was working for. I think we're good here, lowering it. Like I said, I do want to swap the tires. I'm gonna try to do it here at home. If I can't get it, I'll just put air back in the tires, worst case scenario, but I'm going to try to pull the tires off the wheels and then swap them over because they are cambered out really badly. The front's really bad, but the rear, I did not think the rear was so bad, but I guess they got too hot and they started chunking off. I guess that's what these tires do. I now see why people go with the more expensive tire, because for example, the Federal 595s, they don't chunk out like these do. When you start drifting, these tires get hot and they start wearing in chunks. I'm going to lift the other side really quickly, take that height adjuster off in the rear, lower it, and we should be set for most part in the rear. I am going to align the car again because whenever I do drive it, it does tend to pull a little bit. I can definitely tell that, yeah, one tire is pulling more than the other. Actually, now that I remember, I was having pulling issues with this car. When I was driving it, it was pulling to one side more than the other, and I never really got to aligning it because I was working and I did not have the time. Now that I have the time, I have not been able to, I have not done it. So we're gonna pull the alignment setup out and we are going to try to align this car. It's nothing too bad, it's not too bad out of spec. I know the rear right now is going to be out. Once I get the rear lowered, sitting properly, tires swapped around, we are going to do an alignment and we'll see what really goes from there. I've never really attempted this, so we'll see if it works. I don't see why it won't work, but also I've never done this. So I might take an L doing this. I'm gonna give it a shot. Might as well give it a shot, you know. Better to fail than regret not even trying. So I'm gonna give this a shot, and if I can't do it, I guess I'll just take it in another day. I'm not gonna pay to get this taken care of right now. It's definitely not even worth it. So the air is almost out of it. I'm going to give it a shot, see if I can pull this off. If like I said, I can't, screw it, but I think I should be able to. Doesn't seem that hard. Well, I got one done. The only thing now is that it is not balanced, so I gotta see what it's gonna cost me to balance the tires, and I actually will not mind mounting and dismounting these. I don't care about all the rashes. Either way, these are drift spares. These are definitely just gonna be drift spares. If I ever decide to use these for anything else, I'm definitely going to clean them up. They are beat. They are a size small. They're only 17s, which is why I don't really care. 17s aren't my favorite tiny wheel on honestly anything. Even the Subaru looks good in 18s or up. And this car looks good with 17s, but 18s definitely fit this model a lot. The E90, I had these on there, they look small. 19s fit the E90 really well, some 18s. So like I said, I don't really care if I damage these wheels, and plus they came pretty damaged already, so I don't really care. I'm learning, and that's kind of why I bought these. They were really cheap. I think I picked them up for maybe 150 to set of 4 with good tires at the time. So I mean, to learn, I'm not really worried. Yeah, I'm gonna knock out the other front, and I think I'm going to leave the rears for now, unless I feel like I could get them off tonight. Once I do this other front, I will see if I can do the rears, and then depending on how long that takes, I'll try to go ahead and do the rears. But we still gotta adjust the rear camber and then the rear toe. If we're towing out in the back, then I guess I'll just leave it. But if we're towing in the back, then I would definitely will have to adjust it. Yo, I'm actually really proud of myself right now. That was actually really dope. When I got the first one done, I was like, dude, I did it. I did one. Like I said, I've never done this before. I've never grabbed 2 pry bars and mounted tires. I've always wanted to do it, and I've never been able to do it. So now that I have the drift spares that I don't really care about messing up, I'm actually really proud of myself. I kind of doubted, I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, I've never done it before, and I was a little bit afraid that I had to take it to the tire shop after done. Yeah, right now all I have to take them for is balance. I'm not sure what balancing is gonna cost me, but that's a lot better than the mount and balance and dismount, because they would have to dismount them, flip them, and then mount them again. We have about another hour of sunlight, so I'm going to knock out the alignment on the car. The rear looks like it's really good. I can actually notice that the rear is actually sitting lower now, so I'm happy about that. I have the camber to adjust in the rear, so I gotta back up the car, and then I have the alignment to do, which shouldn't take too long. It shouldn't be too bad. I know that the front was off just a bit, but nothing crazy. Okay, so I just checked the camber with my phone, and we are near 0 in the back. Pretty close. The reason I wanted to run close to 0 camber was so the tires will wear evenly. I'm not going to be drifting the setup, so I want these tires to last a little bit longer. Like I said, the front, I can't really do much about the front. I'm thinking about adjusting the caster so the tire slides forward a little more and the coil sits back further. That will bring the camber out a little bit, but that's just going to mess with the whole alignment again. And I actually really like where the caster is right now. It catches itself really nicely, and I don't rub on anything. So I think where the front is where I'm gonna leave it. I am going to align everything straight so that everything drives straight. I might toe the front a little bit in, so when I hit the brakes and everything kind of pushes back, it doesn't drag the tires. Because when it's rolling, I don't think it's going to cause a lot of drag, but when it is braking, it's going to cause more drag. So I think that is how I'm going to align it. I believe I still have the specs from the Firestone shop that I took the E90, so I'm going to use those specs and kind of more or less get it on this, at least the toe. I know the camber I can't get, and the caster is definitely not going to be there either, but I know for the rear, as long as the rears are not wasting the tire as badly as it was, I'll be happy. I think there was one more thing that I wanted to do to this car. I've literally been writing everything down because I forget exactly what I need to do. So I got lower the E46, I can delete that. I swapped the tires, so I can delete that. Extend the hydro. I wanted to extend the hydro and fix the headlights. We're not gonna do the headlights today because I think these need clear coated. I believe that that is going to have to be re-cleared. I really don't think that's gonna polish out. But we do need to extend the hydro just a little bit because I adjusted it a little bit. I loosened the bolt and I slid the thing up, but it does not lock still. It's a lot better. It's quite a bit better. I actually did feel it lock a little bit, but now that we have more traction in the rear, I can't lock the tires. I think I found something I want to use. It might be a little crazy, but check this out. Okay, so this is the size of my actual handle, and as you guys can see, it's not that long, and like I said, I don't have enough torque to lock the tires. So I pulled out my breaker bar. This is my 3/8 breaker bar. See, now if you take off the screw, I think this will actually fit on that bolt right there. Yeah, I know it's a little crazy. I'm going to try it. This is a lot longer. If this works, I'll go buy another 3/8 breaker bar because the handle's actually really decent. It's really nice to grab. If I grab the pipe, I don't know how hard it's gonna be. I can slide this little fuzzy thing over it. I honestly think that this is just a really good length. I grabbed the 1/2 inch first and it was just way too big. It would hit the roof. If this works, then it works. Like I said, I'll just go buy another 3/8 breaker bar. Guys, so it actually does not fit. It won't take a lot of modifying. All I have to do is drill this hole a little bit further back and this will sit right there. I could flip this upside down so it sits a little higher and then it would fit on this piece a little bit. And like I said, that handle's really nice. That handle is actually really freaking nice. Oh yeah, that's for sure got a lock. That's a lot of leverage. Okay, this is just an example of how much longer it is. Does not seem like much, but honestly, that might be the difference between locking the tires and not. Because as of right now, right there, I cannot lock the tires, but up there, that might be a whole different story. I'm not even kidding. I'll grab the 1/2-inch breaker bar, and if this doesn't work, I'll grab the 1/2-inch breaker bar and make it work on this setup, because that's actually really solid. I did not think of this. What I was gonna use was a pipe, but this actually feels really, it feels solid as it is. It just like, I can just feel like it feels so much more solid than this. And since I am fabricating, customizing this, I think it really is going to be a lot more solid than the way it came. We'll save it for another day. Definitely gonna save it for another day, but I think I've found what I need. I'm not going to go buy another breaker bar till I know for sure that this is gonna work, because I might need a 1/2-inch breaker bar, and if I need the 1/2-inch, I wanna go pick it up and it not cost me 2 breaker bars. I don't wanna have 2 3/8 breaker bars, so if it does work, then I will go buy another 3/8. If it doesn't, I'll go buy a 1/2-inch breaker bar. I might lower the hydro a little bit because I don't like how high it does sit. It does sit pretty decently high. Like it's, I don't know, uncomfortably high. I am definitely going to probably try to cut the bracket just a little bit, lower a little bit, just so this sits probably like right there. That feels a lot better right there. I'm gonna try to mug this up in a way so that we can go test it, and then we'll go give it a shot. There is my setup. It actually works. I might have to recline the seat a little bit back, but we can definitely go test it. That's more or less the torque we're gonna get out of it. Let's go give it a shot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's gonna work. What's up guys? So I forgot to end the video last night. It got kind of late and I need to pick everything up. I left quite a bit out actually, so I still gotta clean up from the mess from yesterday. So I think the Subaru has had a leak, a weird oil leak. I don't know if it's leaking or it's burning. I really want to say it's leaking, so we are going to work on that later today. I'm gonna end this video here, but we're gonna work on the Subaru later today in a whole nother video. I don't know what's wrong with it. Like I said, it has some kind of like a leak or it's burning really badly, but we're going through about 1/4 of oil. That is not good. The other day it was really low, and it is a good thing I checked it because I was going to take, I think, to Twin, which is about an hour drive. So I know the stem seals that hold the valve cover down, those actually leak, but the actual valve cover gasket, that does not leak. I know for a fact that does not leak because I RTV'd that, and I have seen that the stem seals do leak. So we're gonna fix those later, but right now I gotta go take care of something. But yeah guys, I'm gonna end the video here. If you guys like the video, go down and hit that like button for me. It really helps me out. Comment down below. I'm always active in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button. I'm giving 2 stickers away at 200 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in the next one.